Have you ever wondered if the world you see is the true reality? What if everything you know is an illusion, carefully crafted to keep you from seeing the truth? Could the life you live, the very thoughts you think, be shaped by forces beyond your control? What if the answers to all your questions are hidden in plain sight, concealed by a force that has manipulated humanity for eons? And what would happen if you dared to uncover the reality that lies beyond? In the dim corners of existence, something ancient stirs. It's a presence that has always been with us, shaping the world in subtle ways, pulling the strings of our every move. It's a force so powerful, so elusive, that even the greatest minds have been unable to grasp its true nature. Some call it the Demiurge, the master of the physical world, but not the creator of all things. As we step into the unknown, we begin to question everything we know about reality itself. What will we find when we look closer? There's a secret that hides in the fabric of the universe itself, a lie so deep that even the most advanced minds in history have struggled to see through it. The Demiurge isn't some abstract deity from ancient myths. It's a force that governs our every experience, creating a false world in which we are all trapped. How could we not see it? Perhaps the illusion is too perfect, too convincing. But the more we begin to question, the more the cracks in this reality begin to appear. The deeper we go, the more we realize that we may not be as free as we think. Have you ever felt like there's something just beneath the surface of our world, something that doesn't quite add up? It's there, waiting for you to find it. But only a few have ever had the courage to see it. The ancient Gnostics believed that the world we live in is a mere shadow, a projection of a higher, truer reality. They taught that the Demiurge created the physical world, trapping souls in this illusion, unable to break free. But they also believed that there was a way to escape. What if this knowledge, lost through the ages, is the key to unlocking the greatest mystery of all? But the deeper truth is not easily revealed. It hides behind layers of confusion, fear, and doubt. The Demiurge is not just an idea. It's a force that manipulates the very core of our being, subtly guiding us through life, controlling our thoughts, our decisions, even our desires. Can you feel it? Every day we are nudged in ways we cannot explain, led down paths we did not choose. This force has shaped the world for eons. But could it be that it's not as invincible as it seems? Could there be a way to break free? As we venture further into this enigma, the veil begins to lift. It is no longer just a theory. It becomes a living, breathing force that challenges our very existence. The ancient mystery schools whispered about it, and those who sought the truth were initiated into the deepest secrets of the universe. They discovered that the physical world was a prison, designed to keep us bound by the illusions of our senses. But the path to freedom was not an easy one. In the next step, we uncover the secrets that were meant to stay hidden, secrets that reveal just how far the illusion goes. The Demiurge's grip on humanity is not a passive one. It doesn't simply control what we see, it controls what we believe. Imagine being trapped in a world that feels real, where every moment seems authentic. But in truth, it's all an elaborate ruse. The ancient texts speak of awakening, of transcending the physical world to reach a higher state of consciousness. But this journey is not for the faint of heart. The next revelation may shatter everything you thought you knew about the world and about yourself. Are you ready to face what lies ahead? Throughout history, those who have tried to break free from this illusion have faced great peril. The mystery schools that once held The secrets of the universe have been buried beneath the weight of time. Knowledge that could have set humanity free has been erased, hidden, and forgotten. But what if this knowledge is still out there, waiting to be rediscovered? What if the next step in our journey is not just about looking inward, but about unearthing what has been hidden from us for centuries? The deeper we go, the more we realize that the truth is closer than we think. The mind is a powerful tool, but it is also the most vulnerable. What if your thoughts are not your own, but are instead being subtly guided by unseen forces? The ancient teachings tell us that the material world is just a reflection of a higher, divine truth. But for most of us, that truth is out of reach, obscured by layers of false reality. But there are those who have glimpsed it. They have seen what lies beyond the veil, and their lives have never been the same. What happens when you dare to look past the surface and confront the darkness that lies beneath? The true nature of reality is not a question that can be answered easily. It requires us to look beyond the illusion, to confront the terrifying possibility that we are not the masters of our own fate. As we continue down this path, we begin to realize that the very fabric of our existence has been altered, twisted, and manipulated by forces that we cannot see. In the next chapter, we will uncover the truths that have been kept from us, and we will confront the power that seeks to control us. Are you ready for the truth? Prepare yourself, for what comes next will challenge everything you've ever believed. The world as we know it is a carefully constructed illusion, a mirage that, at first glance, seems stable, predictable, and real. But what happens when we begin to question the very foundation of our reality? Can we trust what we see, or are we being led down a path that was paved long before we arrived? The ancient texts speak of a time when humanity could break free from the chains of illusion, but those who sought the truth often paid the price. What was the price of knowing the truth, and who paid it? It was the ancient Gnostics who first warned humanity about the false world we inhabit. They spoke of the Demiurge, a dark force that created the material universe, trapping souls in an endless cycle of life and death. The physical world, they said, was not the true reality. It was a mere projection, a distortion of the divine truth that lay beyond. But how could such a powerful force have shaped the entire universe? And why would it create such a complex and convincing illusion? To understand this, we must first delve into the nature of the Demiurge itself. The Demiurge is not merely a god or an entity, it is an intelligence, a consciousness that shapes the very laws of reality. It is a being of immense power, yet its nature is not wholly evil. Some believe it is a misguided force, one that operates under a false belief in its own superiority. Others believe that the Demiurge is malevolent, actively working to keep humanity imprisoned in the world of illusion. The question then arises, what is the true nature of this entity, and why does it trap us in this cycle of false reality? As we explore further, we begin to realize that the answers are far darker than we imagined. In the depths of the ancient mystery schools, there were those who dared to confront the Demiurge directly. They sought to break free from its grasp, to see beyond the veil that separated them from the divine truth. Through rigorous spiritual practices, they attempted to transcend the physical world and reach a higher state of consciousness. But the Demiurge was not an easy foe to defeat. It shaped the very laws of the universe, and breaking free from its control required a level of mastery that few could achieve. What would happen to those who failed? And what does the Demiurge want from us? As we begin to examine the ways in which the Demiurge controls us, we realize that its influence is far-reaching. It is not just in the grand, cosmic forces that shape the universe, but in the subtle, everyday moments of our lives. The Demiurge manipulates our thoughts, our desires, and even our very perceptions of reality. Have you ever felt like you were being led down a certain path, only to discover that it wasn't your own choice? This is the power of the Demiurge at work. It creates a world that seems real, but in truth, it is merely a projection of its own will. What if this power is not confined to ancient times, but still influences the world today? As we look around, we see a society that is driven by fear, greed, and materialism. We are told what to value, what to believe, and even how to feel. The media, the government, and the systems of control are all part of the illusion that the Demiurge has woven around us. But the true power lies not in these external forces, but in the way they manipulate our own minds. Are we truly in control of our own lives, or are we simply puppets of a greater force? In our search for answers, we begin to notice patterns in the way the world operates, in the way people think, and in the way society functions. These patterns seem to follow a predictable, repetitive cycle, as if we are caught in a loop that we cannot escape. Could this cycle be the work of the Demiurge? Could the forces that shape our lives be more than just chance, but part of a grand design that has been in place for millennia? As we move forward, we begin to uncover the truth. The illusion is not just a false reality, it is a prison, designed to keep us bound by the illusions of our senses. But the path to freedom was not an easy one. In the next step, we uncover the secrets that were meant to stay hidden. Secrets that reveal just how far the illusion goes. The Demiurge's grip on humanity is not a passive one. It doesn't simply control what we see, it controls what we believe. Imagine being trapped in a world that feels real, where every moment seems authentic, but in truth, it's all an elaborate ruse. The ancient texts speak of awakening, of transcending the physical world to reach a higher state of consciousness. But this journey is not for the faint of heart. The next revelation may shatter everything you thought you knew about the world and about yourself. Are you ready to face what lies ahead? Throughout history, those who have tried to break free from this illusion have faced great peril. The mystery schools that once held the secrets of the universe have been buried beneath the weight of time. Knowledge that could have set humanity free has been erased, hidden, and forgotten. But what if this knowledge is still out there, waiting to be rediscovered? What if the next step in our journey is not just about looking inward, but about unearthing what has been hidden from us for centuries? The deeper we go, the more we realize that the truth is closer than we think. The mind is a powerful tool, but it is also the most vulnerable. What if your thoughts are not your own, but are instead being subtly guided by unseen forces? The ancient teachings tell us that the material world is just a reflection of a higher, divine truth. But for most of us, that truth is out of reach, obscured by layers of false reality. But there are those who have glimpsed it. They have seen what lies beyond the veil, and their lives have never been the same. What happens when you dare to look past the surface and confront the darkness that lies beneath? The true nature of reality is not a question that can be answered easily. It requires us to look beyond the illusion, to confront the terrifying possibility that we are not the masters of our own fate. As we continue down this path, we begin to realize that the very fabric of our existence has been altered, twisted, and manipulated by forces that we cannot see. In the next chapter, we will uncover the truths that have been kept from us, and we will confront the power that seeks to control us. Are you ready for the truth? Prepare yourself, for what comes next will challenge everything you've ever believed. The world as we know it is a carefully constructed illusion, a mirage that at first glance seems stable, predictable, and real. But what happens when we begin to question the very foundation of our reality? Can we trust what we see, or are we being led down a path that was paved long before we arrived? The ancient texts speak of a time when humanity could break free from the chains of illusion, but those who sought the truth often paid the price. What was the price of knowing the truth, and who paid it? It was the ancient Gnostics who first warned humanity about the false world we inhabit. They spoke of the Demiurge, a dark force that created the material universe, trapping souls in an endless cycle of life and death. The physical world, they said, was not the true reality. It was a mere projection, a distortion of the divine truth that lay beyond. But how could such a powerful force have shaped the entire universe? And why would it create such a complex and convincing illusion? To understand this, we must first delve into the nature of the Demiurge itself. The Demiurge is not merely a god or an entity. It is an intelligence, a consciousness that shapes the very laws of reality. It is a being of immense power, yet its nature is not wholly evil. Some believe it is a misguided force, one that operates under a false belief in its own superiority. Others believe that the Demiurge is malevolent, actively working to keep humanity imprisoned in the world of illusion. The question then arises, what is the true nature of this entity, and why does it trap us in this cycle of false reality? As we explore further, we begin to realize that the answers are far darker than we imagined. In the depths of the ancient mystery schools, there were those who dared to confront the Demiurge directly. They sought to break free from its grasp, to see beyond the veil that separated them from the divine truth. Through rigorous spiritual practices, they attempted to transcend the physical world and reach a higher state of consciousness. But the Demiurge was not an easy foe to defeat. It shaped the very laws of the universe, and breaking free from its control required a level of mastery that few could achieve. What would happen to those who failed? And what does the Demiurge want from us? As we begin to examine the ways in which the Demiurge controls us, we realize that its influence is far-reaching. It is not just in the grand, cosmic forces that shape the universe, but in the subtle, everyday moments of our lives. The Demiurge manipulates our thoughts, our desires, and even our very perceptions of reality. Have you ever felt like you were being led down a certain path, only to discover that it wasn't your own choice? This is the power of the Demiurge at work. It creates a world that seems real, but in truth, it is merely a projection of its own will. What if this power is not confined to ancient times, but still influences the world today? As we look around, we see a society that is driven by fear, greed, and materialism. We are told what to value, what to believe, and even how to feel. The media, the government, and the systems of control are all part of the illusion that the Demiurge has woven around us. But the true power lies not in these external forces, but in the way they manipulate our own minds. Are we truly in control of our own lives, or are we simply puppets of a greater force? In our search for answers, we begin to notice patterns. Patterns in the way the world operates, in the way people think, and in the way society functions. These patterns seem to follow a predictable, repetitive cycle, as if we are caught in a loop that we cannot escape. Could this cycle be the work of the Demiurge? Could the forces that shape our lives be more than just chance, but part of a grand design that has been in place for millennia? As we move forward, we begin to uncover the truth. The illusion is not just a false reality, it is a prison. But what happens when we attempt to break free from this illusion? The road to awakening is not an easy one. The Demiurge has created a world that is designed to keep us trapped, to keep us from ever seeing the truth. To break free requires a shift in consciousness, a transformation of the mind. It requires us to see the world not as it appears, but as it truly is. But once we begin to see through the veil, we realize that the journey has only just begun. The more we uncover, the more questions arise, and the deeper the mystery becomes. What if there are forces beyond the Demiurge, forces that are far more powerful and far more dangerous? The ancient teachings speak of a higher, divine truth, a truth that exists beyond the physical world. This truth is said to be the source of all creation, the origin of the divine spark that resides within each of us. But to access this truth, we must first overcome the Demiurge and its illusions. And as we continue down this path, we realize that the closer we get to the truth, the darker and more terrifying the revelations become. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of the Demiurge, we begin to understand the true nature of the world we live in. The physical universe is not what it seems. It is a distorted reflection of a higher, divine reality, and we are mere pawns in a game that we cannot comprehend. The Demiurge has created a world that is designed to trap us, to keep us from ever realizing the truth. But what if the truth is not just a philosophical concept, but a force that can change the very fabric of reality itself? What happens when we finally break free from the illusion, and what will we discover when we do? In the next chapter, we will begin to unravel the secrets of the Demiurge's true intentions and what lies beyond the veil of illusion. The answers are darker, more horrifying, and more dangerous than anything we could have imagined. But we must ask ourselves, are we willing to confront the truth, no matter what it may cost us? The journey is long, and the path is treacherous, but the deeper we go, the closer we come to understanding the true nature of our existence. And the closer we get to the truth, the more we realize that there is no turning back. Have you ever wondered if there are forces beyond your comprehension guiding the world, manipulating events in ways you cannot see? What if everything you've been told about the world, about history, about life itself, has been distorted, twisted, to keep you locked in a false reality? In this next chapter, we delve deeper into the unseen forces that govern our existence. Forces so powerful that they control not just the physical world, but the very fabric of consciousness itself. What will we find when we follow the trail deeper into the unknown? The world you see is not as it seems. This is the fundamental truth that the ancient ones knew, the truth that the Demiurge has been desperately trying to keep hidden. But the Demiurge is not the only force at play. There are those who serve it, those who know the truth and use it to maintain control over the masses. These shadowy figures, these puppeteers, are the hidden hands that guide the course of history, manipulating the world from behind the scenes. But who are they, and what do they want? Why have they been guiding humanity toward this dark future? The answers are more horrifying than we could ever have imagined. It becomes clear. The manipulation is not just of physical reality, but of consciousness itself. These ancient forces have learned how to control not just the body, but the very mind. They influence our thoughts, our desires, our very perception of reality. In this way, they ensure that we remain trapped in the cycle, unable to break free. But what if we could fight back? What if the key to breaking this control is hidden within our own minds, waiting to be unlocked? Can we awaken to the truth, or are we destined to remain puppets dancing on the strings of the unseen? The ancient knowledge that once offered humanity a way out is hidden, buried beneath layers of deception, forgotten by all but a few. But it's still there, waiting for those who are brave enough to uncover it. The mystery schools, once the guardians of this knowledge, were destroyed, their teachings lost to time. But some fragments remain, hidden in sacred texts, in forgotten temples, in the very symbols we overlook. These fragments hold the key to understanding the true nature of reality and the power to break free from the illusion. But how do we find them? And when we do, will we be prepared for what they reveal? To find the truth, we must first be willing to confront the darkness. The path to awakening is not an easy one. It requires us to face the forces that have been keeping us trapped, to confront the fear and doubt that have held us in place for so long. But the deeper we go, the more we begin to understand. The fear was never the enemy. It was the illusion itself, the lie we have been living. Only by confronting the darkness can we hope to find the light that lies beyond. But are we ready for what lies in wait? There is a point of no return. Once we begin to peel back the layers of the illusion, once we begin to see the world for what it truly is, there is no going back. The truth is not comfortable. It will shake you to your core, revealing the extent to which you have been manipulated. But this is the price of awakening. The deeper we look, the more we uncover the systems that have controlled us, the dark forces that have shaped our reality. And with each revelation, the path to freedom becomes clearer. But will we walk it? And if we do, what will we face? As we approach the heart of the mystery, we begin to understand that the truth is not just about knowledge, it is about power. The knowledge of reality's true nature holds the power to change everything. Those who control this knowledge control reality itself. But what happens when that knowledge is shared, when the veil is lifted for all to see? The forces that have kept us trapped will fight to keep the truth hidden. But in the end, the truth will always come to light. What will that light reveal? And what will happen when it finally breaks through? In the next chapter, we will go even further. We will delve into the ancient secrets, the hidden knowledge that has been kept from humanity for centuries. The deeper we go, the more we will uncover the power to break free from the illusion. But beware. As the truth becomes clearer, the forces that seek to maintain the lie will grow desperate. The path ahead is fraught with danger, but it is the only way to escape the prison we've been living in. Will you follow the truth, no matter the cost? Have you ever felt like something is watching you? A force just beyond your perception, lurking in the shadows, waiting for you to notice? What if that feeling is not just a trick of the mind, but a real presence, an ancient force that has been with you your entire life, guiding your thoughts, your actions, your very existence? The deeper we journey into this mystery, the more we realize that the forces controlling us are not passive. They are active, deliberate, and they are watching. But why? And what do they want? The truth is, these forces are not new. They have existed long before the rise of humanity, long before the first whispers of civilization. These beings, these shadowy figures, have shaped the course of human history for millennia. They are the architects of the illusion we live in, the ones who created the systems of control that govern our every move. But what happens when these figures, once hidden in the darkness, begin to step into the light? What will we see when the veil is fully lifted? As we uncover more of the truth, we begin to understand that these forces are not just external, they are within us. The mind is the battlefield, and the forces that control us are masters of manipulation, controlling the very thoughts we think and the beliefs we hold. They have learned to shape reality itself, not through brute force, but by subtly influencing our perceptions, our fears, and our desires. The question now is, how do we fight back against such an insidious power? Is it even possible to break free from the control that has shaped our very existence? The path to freedom is not an easy one. It requires us to confront the very nature of the reality we live in and to challenge everything we have been told about the world. But the deeper we go, the more we begin to see that the path forward is not just about knowledge, it's about awakening. To awaken means to see beyond the illusion, to recognize the forces at play, and to take back control of our own minds. But what happens when we awaken to the truth? What will we be forced to confront in the process? As we peel back the layers of this illusion, we uncover more of the truth, the ancient knowledge that has been hidden from us for centuries. This knowledge has been guarded by secret societies, protected by the very forces that seek to control us. The mystery schools, once the keepers of this wisdom, were destroyed, their teachings erased from history. But what if some fragments remain? What if the knowledge we need to break free is buried beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered? What if the key to our freedom has always been within our grasp? But with this knowledge comes a great responsibility. The truth is not a gift, it is a burden. Those who possess it must be prepared to face the darkness that comes with it. The forces that seek to keep us trapped in the illusion will stop at nothing to prevent us from awakening. They will do whatever it takes to maintain control, to keep the truth hidden from the masses. But in the end, the truth cannot be contained forever. It will break free, and when it does, nothing will ever be the same again. The deeper we go into this mystery, the more we realize that the true battle is not just for freedom, it is for our very souls. The forces controlling us are not just interested in our minds, they want to control our essence, to trap us in a cycle of suffering and reincarnation. This is the true nature of the illusion we live in. But what if we could break free from this cycle? What if the key to escaping the endless loop of life and death lies within our own consciousness? Can we transcend this prison, or are we forever bound by the chains of the Demiurge? The forces that control us are not just invisible, they are everywhere. They are in the systems of government, in the media, in the very way we interact with the world. They are the architects of fear, doubt, and confusion, using these tools to keep us compliant and distracted. But as we begin to understand the true nature of this control, we start to see the cracks in the system. The illusion begins to unravel, and the more we see, the more we realize that we are not powerless. We have the ability to break free. But it won't be easy. The forces that seek to control us are powerful, and they will fight to keep us in the dark. In the coming chapters, we will continue our journey, uncovering the hidden knowledge that has been kept from us. We will delve deeper into the nature of the Demiurge and the beings that serve it. But beware, the deeper we go, the more we will uncover the darkness within ourselves. The forces that seek to control us have been woven into the very fabric of our consciousness, and confronting them is not just a matter of understanding the external world. It is about understanding ourselves. Are we prepared to face the darkness within? And if we are, what will we discover when we do? We are on the brink of an awakening, but this awakening will not come without a price. The truth is not easy to face. It will challenge everything we believe, and it will force us to confront the very nature of reality itself. But if we are to break free from the control that has kept us trapped, we must face the darkness head-on. The path is dangerous, but it is the only path to freedom. Will we take that step, or will we remain in the comfort of the illusion, forever bound by the chains of the Demiurge? What if the darkest truth of all is not out there, but deep within? What if the key to breaking free from the illusion we've been living in lies not in uncovering ancient secrets or confronting external forces, but in confronting the very essence of who we are? In this part of our journey, we move beyond the surface. We begin to realize that the greatest battle is not with the shadowy figures who control us, but with the shadow that resides within each of us. Will we have the strength to face what we truly are? The truth is, the Demiurge and its followers are not merely external forces that trap us. They are reflections of our own fears, desires, and ignorance. The illusion we are living in is not just a creation of external power, but a projection of our own minds. We are all complicit in the creation of this false reality, and until we come to terms with this fact, we cannot break free. But what happens when we confront the darkness within ourselves? What will we find when we look into the mirror and face the truth of who we really are? For centuries, humanity has sought answers to the mysteries of the universe, always looking outward, searching for external forces to explain the suffering and confusion that surrounds us. But what if the answers have always been within? What if the path to freedom lies not in seeking knowledge from ancient texts or hidden societies, but in looking inward and understanding the true nature of the self? To break free from the illusion, we must confront the darkness within our own souls. But how do we begin this journey? And what will we encounter along the way? In the ancient teachings of the mystery schools, there was a fundamental truth that many have forgotten. The journey to enlightenment is not about acquiring more knowledge, but about shedding the layers of illusion that cloud our perception. To awaken is to strip away the false identities, the roles we have been forced to play, and to confront the very essence of who we are. This is not an easy task. The deeper we go, the more we are forced to confront the aspects of ourselves that we have long buried. But what happens when we face these hidden parts? What happens when we finally embrace the truth of our own darkness? As we delve deeper into the heart of the shadow, we begin to understand that the power to break free from the illusion lies not in conquering the world around us, but in mastering our own minds. The forces that control us are not external. They are born from our own beliefs, our own perceptions, and our own fears. But the moment we recognize this truth, the power shifts. We are no longer at the mercy of these forces. We are their creators. The moment we awaken, we reclaim our power. But the question remains, what will we do with that power when we have it? The truth is, we have been living in a state of collective amnesia. We have forgotten who we truly are, and in doing so, we have allowed ourselves to be controlled. But awakening is a process, one that requires us to peel back the layers of illusion and confront the very beliefs that have kept us trapped. It is a painful journey, but it is the only path to true freedom. As we continue this journey, we must ask ourselves, are we willing to face the darkness within, no matter what it reveals? And if we do, what will we find? As we begin to confront the darkness within ourselves, we start to notice something unsettling. the world around us begins to shift. The illusion starts to unravel, revealing glimpses of a reality that we have never seen before. It is not a comforting reality. It is raw, unfiltered, and terrifying. But it is the truth. The more we see, the more we realize that the world we have been living in is a fragile construct, one that can be shattered in an instant. What happens when the illusion breaks and we are forced to confront the raw truth of existence? There are those who have walked this path before us, who have awakened to the truth and faced the darkness within. Some have emerged stronger, wiser, and free from the illusion. But others have been consumed by the darkness, lost to the very forces they sought to confront. The path to awakening is not without its dangers. The deeper we go, the more we must confront the aspects of ourselves that we fear the most. But what if, in facing these fears, we find the power to reshape our reality? What if the darkness is not the enemy, but the key to unlocking our true potential? The ancient texts spoke of the dark night of the soul, a time when the seeker must face the deepest, most terrifying aspects of themselves. It is a time of profound transformation, a time when everything they thought they knew is stripped away. But this darkness is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. For within this darkness lies the light of understanding, the light that will guide us to the truth. But how do we move through the darkness without losing ourselves? How do we awaken to the light without being consumed by the shadows? As we continue on this path, we begin to understand that the greatest enemy is not the Demiurge, nor the shadowy forces that control us. It is our own ignorance, our own complacency. We have been living in a state of self-imposed blindness, unwilling to face the truth because it is too terrifying. But the moment we choose to see, we begin the journey to freedom. And with that choice comes a great responsibility. For with knowledge comes power, and with power comes the ability to reshape the very fabric of reality itself. But what will we do with this power? Will we use it to break free from the illusion? Or will we remain trapped, forever at the mercy of the forces that seek to control us? The truth is, there is no turning back. Once we awaken, we can never return to the life we once knew. The world will never look the same again. But this is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. For in the end, the truth is not just a destination, but a journey that begins with the willingness to look within, to face the darkness, and to emerge into the light. The path is long, but it is the only path to true freedom. Will you take the first step? What if the struggle for your soul is not just a metaphor, but a real war being fought in the shadows? What if the battle between light and darkness, good and evil, isn't something that happens on the surface of the world, but deep within the very core of your being? As we delve deeper into this story, we begin to see that the true battle is not just against external forces, but against the darkness within us all. But how do we fight an enemy that we cannot see, one that is not bound by time or space? And when we confront it, what will we find? We have long been told that the struggle for our souls is a spiritual one, a fight between heaven and hell. But what if this war is not as simple as good versus evil? What if the true enemy is the very force that has shaped our perception of good and evil itself? The Demiurge and its followers are not the only ones fighting for control over our souls. There are those who seek to awaken us to the truth, to help us break free from the illusion. But their efforts have not come without consequence. The battle for our freedom is a war of ideologies, a war fought in the minds of humanity itself. At the heart of this war is a simple truth. The battle for control over consciousness is the ultimate battle. Whoever controls the mind controls reality. The forces that seek to enslave us have understood this for millennia, and they have crafted systems of control, systems of belief that keep us trapped in a false reality. But the mind is not a fixed thing. It is malleable, ever-changing, and it can be shaped by those who understand its true nature. What happens when we finally take control of our own minds? What happens when we stop being passive participants in this war and become active warriors in the battle for our own souls? The struggle for consciousness is not just a war for the individual, it is a war for the collective. We are not alone in this battle. The forces that control us seek to manipulate not just one mind, but the minds of millions, billions. The media, the government, the education system, they are all tools used to shape public consciousness, to keep the masses in line, to prevent them from awakening to the truth. But what happens when the masses begin to wake up? What happens when the collective consciousness shifts and the veil begins to lift for everyone? The answer is chaos. The chaos that follows is not a random event. It is a necessary step in the process of awakening. When the truth is revealed, when the illusion is shattered, there is a period of disorientation, of confusion. The world that once made sense no longer does. But this chaos is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. It is the breaking down of the old world, the old systems of control, and the birth of something new. But this birth is not without pain. The forces that have controlled us for so long will fight back with everything they have. And the question we must ask ourselves is, will we be ready for the fight? As we continue down this path, we begin to realize that the war is not just a physical one. It is a war of consciousness, fought on a spiritual and mental plane. The enemy is not just the shadowy figures who control the world. It is the darkness within us, the ignorance and fear that we carry with us. The Demiurge feeds off this darkness, using it to keep us trapped. But what if the darkness is not something to fear, but something to understand? What if, in confronting the darkness within ourselves, we gain the power to overcome it? The greatest challenge in this war is not external. It is internal. The darkness that holds us captive is not some force outside of us. It is a product of our own minds. Our fears, our doubts, our beliefs, they shape our perception of reality, and in doing so, they trap us in a world of illusion. But the moment we understand this, the moment we recognize that we are the creators of our own reality, we begin to change the rules of the game. And when the rules change, everything changes. But the question remains, are we ready for this transformation? The forces that seek to keep us trapped will fight back with every tool at their disposal. They will use fear, confusion, and manipulation to keep us from awakening. But the truth cannot be contained forever. The more we uncover, the more we realize that the forces of control are not as invincible as they seem. They are fragile, vulnerable, and their power depends on our belief in them. The moment we stop believing, the moment we awaken to the truth, their hold on us will break. But the question is, can we awaken in time? In the coming chapters, we will explore the final stages of this war, the battle for consciousness itself. We will delve into the rituals and practices used by those who seek to control us, and we will uncover the hidden knowledge that can free us from their grasp. But this journey is not for the faint of heart. to face the darkness within, to confront the forces that seek to control us, is a journey that requires immense courage. But it is the only path to freedom. Will you walk it? What happens when the illusion finally crumbles? What if the world we have built, the reality we have believed in for so long, is not just a lie, it is a prison? And the key to our freedom lies in our ability to see beyond it. As the veil begins to lift, we stand at the precipice of a profound transformation. The question is not whether we will awaken, but whether we will survive the truth that lies beyond. In this next chapter, we confront the ultimate battle, the breaking point, where everything we know is tested. Are you prepared for what comes next? The first step toward breaking free from the illusion is recognizing that the fight is not just external, it is within. The forces that have kept us trapped in this false reality do not merely control the world around us, they control our very perception of it. The truth is, we have been complicit in the creation of the illusion. Every belief we hold, every fear we harbor, feeds the system of control. But what happens when we stop feeding the illusion? What happens when we reclaim our power, not just from the forces outside, but from the beliefs we have held within? This is where the true war begins. The battle for our minds, our consciousness, is not just a fight against shadowy figures or ancient forces. It is a fight against our own ignorance, our own complacency. The more we awaken, the more we begin to see how deep the deception runs and how far-reaching the control is. It is not enough to fight the forces outside of us. We must confront the darkness within, the fears and doubts that we have carried with us for so long. But how do we do this? How do we break free from the chains that have been forged in our own minds? The deeper we go, the more we realize that the true nature of the battle is not about defeating an external enemy. It is about transcending the very nature of reality itself. The illusion we are trapped in is not just a construct of the Demiurge and its followers. It is a creation of our own minds. The moment we realize this, we gain the power to change everything. But change is not easy. The forces that have shaped our perception of reality are deeply ingrained. To awaken is to challenge everything we have ever known, and to confront the very core of our existence. But what happens when we take that first step? In the darkest corners of the mind, where the lies and illusions first take root, there is a force, an energy, that binds us to the false reality. It feeds on fear, confusion, and doubt, keeping us trapped in the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. But there is a power within us, a power that is beyond the illusion, beyond the control of the Demiurge. This power is the key to breaking free. It is the divine spark within us all, the truth of who we are, waiting to be awakened. But to access this power, we must first confront the lies that have held us captive. What will we find when we look beyond the veil and face the truth? The moment we awaken, the world around us begins to shift. We begin to see the cracks in the illusion, the false beliefs, the systems of control, the lies we have been told. But the more we see, the more we realize how fragile the illusion truly is. It is not solid. It is not fixed. It is a projection, a construct built on fear and ignorance. And like all illusions, it can be shattered. But the question remains, will we be ready when it breaks? Will we be prepared to face the truth of what lies beyond the illusion? As the world around us begins to unravel, we must ask ourselves, what happens when we finally see the truth? What happens when the illusion crumbles and we are left to confront the raw, unfiltered reality that lies beneath. The truth is not easy to face. It is terrifying, overwhelming, and it will change everything. But it is the only path to true freedom. And once we see the truth, we cannot go back. The world will never look the same again. But the question is, will we be able to survive the transformation? The forces that seek to keep us trapped in the illusion will fight to maintain their grip. They will do whatever it takes to keep us from seeing the truth. But as the illusion crumbles, so too does their power. The more we awaken, the less control they have over us. We begin to realize that we have always had the power to break free. We just had to awaken to it. The moment we choose to see, the moment we choose to break free, the world will shift. But are we ready for that shift? Are we prepared for the chaos that will follow? As we stand on the edge of this transformation, we must confront the final question. What will we do with the truth once we have it? The power to break free from the illusion is in our hands, but with that power comes a great responsibility. The world we live in is fragile, and the forces that seek to control us will stop at nothing to prevent us from awakening. But once we see the truth, once we understand the nature of the illusion, there is no turning back. The final battle is not against external forces, it is against our own ignorance, our own fear. Will we have the courage to face it? The journey is far from over. But now, we know the truth. We know that the illusion we live in is not real. We know that the forces that seek to control us are not invincible. They are fragile, like the illusion itself. And we know that the path to freedom lies in our ability to awaken. But the question remains, will we walk that path? Will we confront the darkness within ourselves, face the truth, and break free from the illusion? Only time will tell. What if the world you thought you knew is nothing more than a mask, hiding the true face of reality? What if the final truth, the one that will set you free, lies not in the world around you, but in the depths of your own consciousness? As we reach the final stage of this journey, we confront the ultimate revelation, the truth that has been hidden for so long. But what happens when we finally face it? Are we ready to embrace the truth, no matter the cost? The forces that have shaped our reality, the Demiurge and its followers, are not the true enemy. The real enemy is the fear and doubt that reside within us all. It is the fear of the unknown, the fear of confronting the darkness within ourselves that has kept us trapped for so long. But now, as we stand on the precipice of awakening, we must face that darkness. The moment we choose to see, the moment we choose to face the truth, we reclaim our power. The forces that have kept us in the dark are not invincible. They are mere shadows, and shadows fade in the light. But as we begin to awaken, we realize that the truth is not simple. It is not a single revelation. It is a series of revelations, each more profound and unsettling than the last. The deeper we go, the more we understand that the world we live in is not just a physical reality. It is a projection, a creation of our collective consciousness. The Demiurge and its followers have shaped this projection, keeping us trapped in a cycle of fear, confusion, and suffering. But what happens when we realize that we have the power to reshape the projection? What happens when we choose to see beyond the illusion? The path to awakening is not an easy one. It is a journey that requires immense courage, a willingness to face the darkness within ourselves and confront the forces that have shaped our reality. But the more we face the truth, the more we realize that the only thing holding us back is our own belief in the illusion. The moment we stop believing in the false reality, we begin to break free. But the question remains, are we ready to let go of everything we have known, everything we have believed, in order to embrace the truth? In the end, the battle for freedom is not a battle against external forces. It is a battle against our own ignorance, our own fear. The forces that seek to control us are merely reflections of the darkness within us. But once we awaken, once we confront the darkness and embrace the light, we gain the power to break free from the illusion. The world will never look the same again. But that's the price of freedom, the willingness to see the truth, no matter how terrifying it may be. And so the final step is not one of conquest. It is one of surrender. Surrender to the truth, surrender to the light, and allow it to transform us. It is not about fighting the forces that seek to control us. It is about recognizing that we have always had the power to break free. The illusion has only held us captive because we allowed it to. But once we awaken, once we see the truth, we become the creators of our own reality. The time for awakening is now. The world is shifting, and with it, the veil that has kept us trapped. But we cannot awaken unless we are willing to face the truth. It is not easy, it is not comfortable, but it is the only way forward. So the question is not whether we can break free. It is whether we are willing to confront the darkness within ourselves, to face the truth, and to emerge into the light. The journey is long, and the road ahead is uncertain, but the truth is the only path to true freedom. Will you walk it? As we stand at the edge of this journey, we realize that the true awakening is not just about knowledge, it is about transformation. The illusion that has kept us trapped for so long is not just a creation of external forces, but a creation of our own minds.